Well, hello there. Good night to you all again. So, this will be my review for episode 12 of Data Live. And this also appears to be the end of the first season, even if I know that there will be a first over that can be counted as the 13th episode of the series. But I don't know if the OVA will came out next week, if it will take some time to come out, if the OVA will be eventually the transition for a second season, because well, it's not hinted, but the way they left the story after the end of this episode, my feeling kinda tells me that it's possible that they will make a second season. I don't read nothing about it that the second season is come out. However, I do know that the light novels are a little more advanced on terms of the plot. So there are material to eventually, I do not say if there is enough material to make right off the bat a second season, but it's possible that in a couple of months eventually it's possible that the second season will air. I don't believe that the second season will air in this year. Well, with luck, maybe winter season. But if I have to make a prediction for a eventual second season, I will say spring next year. Without reading anything about it, it's just my feeling. Well, so I will not make these also my final thoughts on the series. Um, I already talked a little, but if the OVA one, or you can count it as episode 30, if this OVA came out next week, it will be on that video that I will make my final talks on the series. If the OVA does not air next week, eventually I will make a final video on on an overall review talks of the series with the 12 episodes. So this episode 12, it was a very interesting episode, and we see uh, origami in Berserk insane mad mode, and basically, like we have see on last week episode, she intends to kill the threat because a threat was the guilty or was guilty for killing origami parents, and she wants revenge. And in this episode, we have the date between Shido and Kotori. They go to the amusement parks, they go to our house, they, well, do the stuff that usually people do on diversion parks. Uh, and then uh, we also have a situation between Toka and Yoshino that are in a different place doing a cruise, and Toka kinda is thinking that perhaps they should go look for Shido and Kotori, but it's Yoshino that explains that it's better if they don't, because Shido is trying to save Kotori. because Kotori is a spirit, and explains to Toka that she, in a way, kind of overhears part of a talk between Reina and Shido about Kotori and so on. So they decided to go on the cruise and let Shido and Kotori go on their dates. So, and when they are kind of talking in a small bank, um, we see that blast happened right near Shido, and it blasted the place where Kotori was. And Shido kind of tries to approach that, but he is blocked by a field force that is blocking him. And we see that Origami is on the skies with a new suit, a new armor, and basically it was the armor that the commander of the AST kind of showed Origami on last episode. So she kind of violate his orders and took the suit, and with the goal, armed with the goal to kill Kotori or effort. And then they start the insane battle between Origami and Kotori turned into effort because she evaded the blow, and then they have an insane battle. In the process, Origami is firing missiles, firing lasers, firing all the arsenal that she possesses, and basically she is destroying all the amusement park. And she also attacked with people on the area, and Kotori eventually kind of scolds her because she acted in that way. But Origami does not care, basically because she is blinded by vengeance. So she continues attacking, destroying all that is around the. She destroyed the giant wheel where Kotori and Shido ride. She destroys the horror house. She destroys um, small tents for food, souvenirs, so on. She destroys basically all the amusement park. And then kind of Toka and Yoshino kind of see the blast or hear the blast, and Toka kind of decides to go to that place and help Shido. But Yoshino kind of steps in and kind of tries to dissuade her from go, but she in the end goes, saying that she needs to save Shido. And eventually Yoshino also goes, and they kind of recover or use part of their spirit powers partially, and they go to the place. And the battle between Kotori and Origami is insane, completely insane. But in the end, Kotori gains the advantage because the suit kind of reaches his limit operations. Shido during that process is yelling to Origami to stop the attack, to do not kill his sister, do not kill Kotori, don't do it, and so on. And eventually, he kinda near the end, when Origami is down and the suit kinda reached his operational limit, she kinda grabs again and tries to shoot um, Kotori down, but Shido kinda steps in and puts himself on the line of fire. And also we have a situation before the with Kotori almost killing Origami, but then Origami kind of explains his reasons, and says that she wants revenge on Efret because Efret killed her parents, and that kind of makes Kotori hesitate, and Origami kind of takes that opportunity to attack again one last time. But this time it's Shido steps in and kind of tries to prevent the situation, but Origami does not hear and does not care, and she actually shoots. But then Shido is protected by Toka and by Yoshino that arrive at the place. And then Origami kinda attacks Toka and Yoshino because they intervene, and at the same time Shido kinda grabs Kotori and runs to a safe distance, and then Origami goes on attacking Toka and Yoshino, and during that process Shido basically seals the powers of Kotori, kissing her, but when they kiss, they both have the memories that were wiped out or destroyed or something like that. They both remember what really happened. And then, when Origami kind of dispatched Toka and Yoshino, she goes again for Kotori, and Shido again steps in and put himself on the line of fire, and he kind of says to Origami that the powers of Kotori were killed. So because Origami wants to kill Efret and does not want to kill Shido's sister, so he says that he is now Efret because he possessed that power. So if she wants to shoot him, or if she wants to kill Efret, she needs to kill him because he, at that moment, is the one that possessed the power of that spirit. And this kind of eventually she he, Origami kind of breaks down, and then we see a scene with Kurumi in a rooftop, and she's kind of manipulating shadows or something like that, and I did not understand if she actually was helping Shido, Toka, and Yoshino, uh, or if she was kind of manipulating time, because we see her Kurumi in his spirit suit, and we see that yellow eye like a clock kind of turning back. So I don't get it exactly. How did she use her powers and why she used the powers? It was to help Origami, it was to help Toka. Did she save Toka from the blast of Origami? Did she save Shido? That was kind of surprising, because we don't. I don't get it. What she did, who she helped, I don't get it. But she appeared, and it was epic to see her again on his spirit form. Um, and then we have the end of the episode. Kotori returns to be a normal human being, uh, regains the command of that the Rastatork. And then Reina kinda is explaining to Shido that the levels of love of Kotori for Shido are 100%, and through all the date they did not change. But apparently Kotori do wanted to go on a date with Shido. But then Rain is kind of saying that the graphics don't lie, but then Kotori comes in and says something strange to Reina, and Reina immediately changes his version and says that, oh, most likely the instruments were broken or something like that. So, and then we have a funny moment between Shido and Kotori. We also have very few good moments between Kotori as a shy girl, and she is thinking that Shido at the beginning of the episode will go kiss him. Then we have a very tender moment when Kotori indeed kisses Kotori, when the Toka and Yoshino were kinda receiving the attacks of origami. And then we have the end of the episode. The end of the episode, man, the producers like to tease the fan boys or fan girls of the main characters, Toka and Shido, because Toka is kinda Shido is thanking Toka for all the help she did, and then Toka kinda explains that if other spirits will come out, and there are other spirits. I already read it about it. There are some more spirits that will appear eventually. So, like I say on the beginning of the videos, already there are some material that could enable the happening of the second season. However, I don't know about what exactly the first OVA will be. Uh, what will be the theme of the first OVA? It will be. It could be the final part of this season. Could be a transition episode from the first season. Then they put the episode, and eventually later on in a few months they will make a second season, and this episode will be on the middle of between one season and another. I don't know exactly what they are planning to do on the OVA. uh, but then we have, like I say, Toka. Then she says that Shido needs to save other spirits when they came out, but be, she does not want that Shido kinda kisses him, because she don't like that Shido kisses others, and then she kinda asks Shido a kiss, and Shido kinda goes respond to that, and then we see the voice of the people in the Kotori and all the commanding base, and they are kissing, 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 kissing. This is quite bad because Shido kind of asks, "What the fuck you are doing here? Uh, need some privacy? Hello," but okay. It was very funny, and then Shido tries again, and then we see the puppet of Yoshino appear, and it kinda appears between the lips of Shido and Toka, and eventually Shido kinda kiss the puppet, and the episode ends on that way, and it's damn, they will piss so many fans out there. Well, but in any case, it was a very funny and for an amazing episode. I say this episode was on the level of craziness that was the fight between Kotori and Kurumi. In a different way, but it was also on that way. So then the series, the final parts of this series, since the Kurumi arc until this one, they are epic. They did try to end it with a blast, and they achieve it, in my opinion. So, like I say on the beginning of the video, if next week the OVA will come out normally as this episode, I will then make a review for the episode and will give my final thoughts on the series. If not, if the episode does not come out, and let's say that the OVA will only come out during, eventually, let's say during the first weeks of the summer season, let's think on that way, that could happen, then I will make a final video on the series. on the overall series, with my thoughts on the series, what I think of the story, what I think how the story progressed, how the characters progressed, and so on. So, well, probably not. Since I have already 20 minutes of video, well, why not? I will give you my final thoughts on the series also. So, I liked a lot of this series. Um, this was one of the series that I watched from the spring anime season. I like the concept of the spirits appearing. Nobody knows why they are appearing. Also, we don't give they don't give an explanation proper. What is a spirit? Where they come? And why they are here. They did not give us that explanation. In a broader sense, they do not give it. Um, it was kind of hinted in the case of Kotori that some, in the case of Kotori, a human did gain the power of a spirit, but this means that Toka and Yoshino and even Kurumi were originally also humans that changed or were changed, or did they came from a different world, do they came from a different dimension, uh, where they are coming and why they are coming, and this is a question that was left unanswered. Then we have the adventures of Shido trying initially to steal Toka, then to steal Yoshino, then the attempt to steal Kurumi, and finally the resealing again the powers of Kotori. So I like the dynamic of the series. I like the characters. I like the development that some characters had, like Kurumi and Kotori, and even Origami. Uh, right at the end of the series. They have a good development. I feel that Toka and Yoshino were kinda not so much well developed, but and that was kinda, well, I will not I will say disappointed me a bit, a little bit, not completely, but kind of disappointed me a little bit because I do wanted to see more um, developments on the part of Toka. Yes, we have the development of the human Toka and his interaction in the world, his love for Shido, and so on. Yes, we do have that development, but the character himself does not have a lot of impact. Yes, she possessed impact when she appeared, but then it kind of feels that through all the series, she kind of became a sideline character. Uh, yes, she does appear a little bit against Kurumi, and then she appears again in this last episode, but she was kind of relegated to a sideline character. Even more uh, sidelined was Yoshino through all the series. Uh, Kurumi had a very great impact on the series. Origami at the start, mm, okay, she is a member of the AST forces. She tries to kill the spirits and so on, but she does not have impact that she then gains in these final episodes. And Kotori was always present, even if also at the start and especially until the Kurumi arc, she was a secondary character that then kind of gained after Kurumi, or during after the Kurumi arc until these last episodes, she kind of becomes one of the main characters. um, and that was very good. And their Kotori, the character of Kotori, does deserve that. Then we have his commanding officers and so on. Well, they are, what can I say? And I do like from the Rossotork. I liked a lot of the Reina, the Doctor. I think that it was a very interesting character. That those it was another character that did not have development. Also, I think that when the commander of the AST, the girl that was the commander of the AST appeared, she also had or possessed potential, but they kinda decided not to go that way. But well, I kinda understand. Even Mana kinda have some impact on the Kurumi arc, but then she virtually disappears. Or let's say she did not exist at the beginning. She appears in the Kurumi arc and then she vanishes. So, and it was also a character that was a failed development, in my opinion. But on the overall, the story, the mythology associated with it, because in a way it also possesses a little bit of angelic mythology, and I'm quite fond of that. Uh, the story had a good pacing, and we have 2, 3 episodes that were more slow paced, kind of, I will not say fillers, but in a way. Uh, but on the overall of the 12 episodes of the series, I think the series had a very good pacing. I like the animations. Especially the battles of against Toka first, then Kurumi, then this last battle between Origami and Kotori were very well done. Very well done. What can I say more? Mm, well, I think that I already say it all. So, this will be my review for episode 12 and also my overall thoughts on the series Data Live. So, if I'm going to have or to give a rate to this series, first of all, explain one thing. I Even if the series is brilliant, I will never give it a 10 out of 10. Mainly because one thing. I think that perfection does not exist. Uh, so I will never give any series a 10 out of 10. But I will give this series, based on what I just say, I will give it a 8 out of 10. 8 and a half. 8 and a half. 8 and a half. Um, it was, for me, it was a very good series that, especially in the parts of Kurumi and in this final arc with Kotori, goes to the level of excellence. So that's mainly the reason why I give it 8.5 out of 10. So this is my rating for Data Live. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you have your own ideas, comments, thoughts, like always, please post them below. Stay well and peace. And like I say, if next week the OVA did came out as usually, I will make a review of the OVA and can also talk a little more on the series. But for now, that's it. So stay well and peace.